Hygge, 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 H-Y-G-G-E. Hygge, right? No, it's Hygge. As in that song, it makes me think of that song that goes Hygge chaka, Hygge, Hygge. I don't know why it makes me think of that. I would have mispronounced it myself, but my wife has informed me that Hygge is a lifestyle. It's all about being cozy. It's Danish and Norwegian, and it's all about just during the winter months making yourself cozy. So I am using Mammoth Soap's Hygge. I've heard it mispronounced a few times, but that's fine. I'm the king of mispronouncing stuff. Totally. New soap for me, and also new Aftershave balm for me. I picked these up. My wife was actually really interested in me getting these, this soap and aftershave combo, because she's a big fan of Hygge. Like, we live here in Wisconsin, it gets hella cold, and she just likes to surround herself in coziness. Think like heavy sweaters and blankets and comfy chairs and a fire, you know, a low fire, not a roaring fire, a nice little fire in the fireplace, maybe a warm beverage. That's Hygge. It's a lifestyle. Anyways, but this soap is Hygge, and I believe I actually read that it was like House of Mammoth's first soap. Not 100% sure about that, but yeah. Anyways, so this soap, to me, it smells a lot like British Sterling Aftershave, which, if you've watched this channel at all, you know that my dad used to be a huge fan of it. Then he's like, they changed it and he doesn't like it anymore. But yeah, a little bit of musk, but also, according to the scent profile, frankincense. And I also had to ask my wife, I'm like, what does frankincense smell like before the soap even arrived? And she goes, it kind of smells like church. You know, obviously you think about frankincense and myrrh and all that around Christmas and the Bible. She's like, yeah, when I used to go to church as a kid, especially around Christmas, they would, I guess, like burn incense that smelled like frankincense. But I don't know if it smells like church to me. It smells like my dad. It smells like British Sterling. That's the best analogy that I can give. And again, I've got this Aftershave balm. Very excited to use the Aftershave balm. And as far as what I'm going to be using today, otherwise, is my West Coast Shaving Black open comb razor. And this is one of my most, if not the most aggressive razor that I own. And I've got it loaded up with a brand new feather blade. I haven't used feather, well, I used feather a long time ago and really diced my face up. And then I got some new ones just a while back to try, and they weren't as bad. And I think it's just because my skills have improved. But very aggressive razor, open comb with a brand new feather blade. I may end up regretting this. I'm going to whip the soap up in a timeless bowl. You know how much I love this timeless bowl. And I'll be using a very large brush. This is my Yaqi 30mm Barber pole. I kind of got like a black theme going here. The black razor, the black canister of soap, the black bowl. I don't really have a black brush, but the bristles, or the hairs, if you will, on this brush are black. So that's about the blackest that I had as far as this this goes. But let's go ahead and move down to the lather bowl, and you get some video. I'll get some video of me lathering this Mammoth soap. Hygge. Okay, there you can see I've got a little bit of it pressed down into my bowl. Let's go ahead and take this Mammoth size brush and start to lather it in a bowl. Now, I used this the other day. It's going to take a lot of water. We're going to get this real thick, rich cream almost. I kind of just got to get it off the sides there. And then I'll add a splash of water. There we go. Like I said, this really, to me, smells like British Sterling. Very strong scent. Really fills my bathroom with this scent. I had never used Mammoth soap, but was very impressed with the performance. More water. Like I said, it's going to take a lot. I was telling my dad about this. They're coming back up to visit from Texas here in like a month. And I'm like, yo, you got to try this stuff. He's very excited. He thinks that British Sterling changed. I mean, I guess it kind of did. Sold to a different company or something. My father's very opinionated, and it really rubbed him the wrong way. So there's that. This is coming together nicely. And this timeless bowl is great for this massive brush. It's got the big wide bottom, and I'm able to kind of like splay out the brush in the bowl. Okay, that's going to do it. Look at that. I think that works. Let's move on up to the face. Alright, welcome back, and as you can see, it performs absolutely beautifully in that bowl. Got it loaded up on this massive brush. Let me put a little bit of water on my face real quick. I've already done my pre-shave with an unscented glycerin soap bar. So my face is nice and clean. This brush is just so monstrous. Mammoth. It's a mammoth brush. And I thought I would bust it out also. I haven't used it in a shave video in a little while. My shoulder's feeling much better. If you remember in my last video, I talked about how I dislocated my shoulder on my daughter's slip and slide. I have survived. It's been a couple of weeks, and it's healing up. Just basically resting it, like not any heavy lifting. It's getting better, so that's good. I can move it. It's still a little sore, but I can move it around. So that's good. Lesson learned. No more slip and sliding for at least a little while. Now this, again, is kind of billed as a wintry scent, and it's the middle of summer here. We actually had a day the other day, the high temperature was only in the 60s. But I don't know, I like this scent just year-round. I think it'll be a good year-round scent. I'll probably favor it more in the winter months, but... Okay, brand new feather blade, very aggressive razor. See how it goes. The key is just to take my time. Light touch. I will say this, I'd rather load up a super sharp blade in this razor than like an extremely dull one. I figure that would just be a disaster. Yeah, so no injuries this last week. Just been taking it easy. A lot of just like watching TV, reading. My wife and I watched a movie the other night. She fell asleep halfway through it, as typical, on the couch. But she had seen it before. It's called Rumor Has It. It's got Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Aniston. Came out in 2005. And it's about the movie The Graduate, or the book and the movie The Graduate, and how the rumor has it it's based on Jennifer Aniston's family. I won't go into any more details, but I enjoyed it. Kevin Costner is in it. The Graduate is one of my favorite movies. And if you've never seen that, it takes place in the 1960s, and it's about this kid that just graduated college, and he comes home and he has an affair with one of his parents' friends, a lady named Mrs. Robinson. So it's a very famous movie, and I love it. It's good. I did try this soap the other day for the first time. My video here is not my very first use, and I think that's a good thing. The first time you smell a soap, it's going to seem foreign to you. But use it a couple of times, and it becomes more familiar. And ultimately, I think you like it more. I see on like social media, Facebook and stuff, people selling soaps and aftershaves that they've only used, it says like only used once. Now maybe they're selling it because they had a reaction to it, which I totally understand. I've had reactions to a couple of soaps. But man, there have been a couple of soaps out there that I maybe wasn't huge on the very first time I used it, or even second time or third time, but I kind of hit my groove. And that's definitely the case with this soap. The first time I smelled it, I was like, whoa, I wasn't expecting British Sterling. But now that I've used it a couple times, I'm like, yeah. It actually says like a barbershop scent, which, yeah, that makes sense. British Sterling is pretty classic barbershop type. A 70s and 80s. I mean, I think my dad started using it in the 70s, 80s. Aftershave, drugstore aftershave. It's also funny, like while I was using it the first time, I thought to myself, it smells like British Sterling, yeah. But it smells like an uncle. It smells like an uncle that comes to visit. And maybe he comes to visit around Christmas time. You only see him a couple times a year. He's like your mom's brother. No one knows a whole lot about him. And he shows up. And that's what this soap smells like. So I was thinking that, right? I finish my shave, my first shave, and I go downstairs to have my wife smell it and see what she thinks with the aftershave balm. And she goes, "You smell like my Uncle Jim," which is her dad's younger brother, a bachelor. So I guess we both have kind of a similar nose. We both smelled an uncle. That's the quote of the day. Anyways. So far so good with this feather. I did kind of feel maybe down here a little bit of a nick because I was talking and not really paying attention, but so far so good. The weather has been so weird. We've had temperatures in the 90s, and we had that day the other day, temperatures only in the 60s. It rained that whole day. We've had like drought-like conditions. This has been a weird summer so far, and we're not even halfway through it. If you want to get technical, we just began it. This is late June that I'm shooting this. The solstice, of course, the summer solstice is the 20th this year. Was the 20th. Father's Day. So we're technically only like a week or so into summer. Now I consider summer June, July, August. But if you want to get technical, summer solstice. the shoulder injury has hindered my golf game. Haven't played a couple weeks now. There's an old man group that I play with on Wednesday nights, and miss those guys. I texted him the other day that I was going to come out and have a beer, but I forgot. I forgot it was even Wednesday. Like, I got home from work and was doing my thing, and then I was like, oh man, it's like 9 o'clock. I was going to go meet the guys. Oh well, there's always next week. But I'm hoping. So I've read about shoulder dislocations, and it could take 6 to even 12 weeks to completely heal. I'm right at 2 weeks. So I don't want to rush into anything. I may not be playing golf for at least another month or so. We'll see. Okay, I don't want to overdo it with this feather blade, honestly. If I try to do like a third pass or something, I feel like I'm going to cut myself. This is a great shave, don't get me wrong. And I'm just going to count my blessings that I made it through without cutting myself with this razor, with this blade. I'm going to just do these 2 spots here. I can't remember, did I mention in my last video that I tore my ACL like 10 years ago? And the ACL hurt worse than the dislocation, but I'm like Evel Knievel. So I had to have like surgery to repair that. I have an Achilles tendon from a cadaver in my left knee. That's kind of weird. That yeah, they make the ACL out of a Achilles tendon. Weird. Okay, I'll just wash off my face. Splash on some of this Aftershave balm. It's a very thin balm. I've got a few balms. I've got one from Dove, Nivea, but the only other like artisan that I have is from Sterling, and it is very thick. It's like hand lotion. Had a hair in my mouth. Whereas this other one from House of Mammoth is very thin. It's more like Nivea. It kind of just drips out. It's runny, kind of drips out. I'll show you. Personally, I prefer the thinner Aftershave balm, but yeah, the Sterling one isn't bad. I haven't used that balm on a video. I need to make a video of that. The balm smells very similar, but a little bit different than the soap. And then, like I said, I'm going to pour it out. You can't really see it, but it's like very easy pour. Like I just barely tipped the bottle, and it just kind of dripped out. Can you see it there? See, it's running down my palm. So thinner. And it really lasts. When I shaved with this the other day and I used this balm, hours later I was smelling it. Feels good. Yep, I got a little nick right there. A little tiny cut from the feather. Nothing too crazy. Almost detect like a tiny bit of mint in the balm that I don't smell in the soap. So they complement each other well, but they're not exactly the same. I'm gonna have to hit that with an Allen block, I think. I'll do that off camera. Okay, folks, thanks so much. Great shave. House of Mammoth. I'll have a new video up here fairly soon. Enjoy your summer. Thanks.